Hey, this is Wendell Helton with Helton Construction. I'm going to show you the things that make us a little different than everybody else for air tightness. Is that we put foam, EPS foam, behind the box, 2.5 inches, and then we spray foam the penetration of the wire. We use gasket boxes, and we trim-coat around this, so then our vapor barrier sets on there and seals that off. So we try to make this as an airtight penetration as possible, so we don't have no air leakage, especially when the wind blows. When the wind blows and you put your hand by the box and you can feel that cold air coming through there, this is what we do to mitigate that problem. Creates more airtight. So on the exterior boxes, we seal that where the wire is supposed to go for the penetration of the box and around the box to try to make that as airtight as possible. So here's a switch box. This is what we do to make that airtight. Another thing that we do is we put LVL, laminated Versalam, 1 3/4. 1 ply of that is 18% stronger than 2 2x10s. So we want to create as much insulation in that header cavity as we can. So then we use 1 ply of that for our structural headers. Another thing that we do is we do cantilever trusses. So what I mean by cantilever is that the bottom cord cantilevers to the outside. So most guys use a 11 1/4 inch heel truss. Mine are almost 15 inches. So I get a true R38 minimum right here, because by the time we put the baffle in and give us 2 inches of airspace, we're not compressing that insulation. So Cold Climate Housing has done the research that tremendous amount of heat loss comes right here at the wall and truss connection. So cantilever truss, I want to talk to that. So then what we do is enclose our soffits, and we use vented soffit, and we don't have them ugly tails in sheeting, OSB sheeting that we're just trying to paint. Gives it a nice finished look. We use the thickened 5/4 by 10 for a fascia board. True fascia board, not a piece of siding. So we try to spray foam every penetration that goes into the attic, every one that goes down in the crawl space. We don't want these areas to communicate with the living space at all. Again, a gasket box, and then where the wire pokes through that little neoprene gasket, we spray foam that to mitigate heat loss. It also works for air conditioning too. So thermodynamics is heat always seeks the cold, and if your house is cool and it's summertime and you have these air leakage, eventually your house will fill up with heat. It may take all day, but it will. So we try to mitigate all of that. We try to mitigate any air movement. And then we ventilate the house with a HRV, heat recovery ventilation system. That way the house isn't sick. Airtight can lights We try to make everything airtight as possible.